Hello and welcome to Party Select, where two dudes and a guy who's their friend talk about the best thing there is, video game baddies. We talk about all video games, but in this specific instance, we're definitely going to talk about some video game baddies. I'm Shay. I'm your host for this episode of Game Select. I'm joined, as always, by Cody. What's up, bro?
Me, the baddie.
The baddest.
It was you all along.
It was me.
Damn.
It was me.
And Kyle, our silver medal baddie.
Video game baddie.
Goodness.
I can't down with a microphone in my face.
We are talking about 007 First Light, in case you weren't aware by the thumbnail and the text and our introduction. We are not actually ranking video game baddies. That'd be a fun video to do, but I think would maybe draw the wrong audience to our channel.
I think so too.
The reason I think I start there is there are games that come out where you're like, wow, they really cared about having an attractive video game character in this game. And it seems like that's why you made the video game. Stellar Blade comes to mind. I don't feel that way about First Light, but it does capture the je ne sais quoi of James Bond without it being super misogynistic. It's right on that borderline in the good spot. We've talked offline about old James Bond movies, and Cody, you shared that one clip of the Sean Connery. Which one's that from? Goldfinger?
Goldfinger, yeah.
Where he James Bond is like, "Hey, here's the chick I'm banging. All right, say goodbye," and slaps her ass as she's walking away. It's not. Some of that stuff has not aged particularly well.
Well, that was also Sean Connery's Bond, and Sean Connery is a piece of shit.
Fair enough. But I think that First Light is a good modernization of the James Bond character being overwhelmingly charming, almost to a comedic degree. Pretty much every woman in the game is watching him walk by when he walks by and can't do anything when he wants to charm them. And that's I enjoy that, but it's right on the edge for me. I don't know how you guys felt about that.
I didn't need it. I found. Normally I'm a hornier gamer in general, but I didn't find that I needed it in this case.
You just weren't in the mood.
No.
Yeah.
I can't blame those ladies. He is a good looking Bond.
He's a good looking dude.
An attractive,
he's got a lopsided smile. Woo!
Right. Yeah, the scar on the face.
I also want to be clear, when I say baddies, I'm not only talking about the female characters.
Totally.
James Bond is a baddie in this game.
Certified.
Not so much a baddie, but maybe a zaddy. I would throw Q certainly into that.
Oh yeah.
Q has got some.
Okay.
He's got
Zaddiness?
he's got some zaddiness for sure. The silver hair, glasses, little goatee, beard thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
He knows what's up. Anyway, we're not only talking about how attractive all these video game characters are, although that's always fun. 007 First Light. The way we typically start this is giving a gut reaction, because we intentionally don't really talk about games that we're going to talk about for Game Select. While we're playing them, we don't really discuss in our Discord channel to keep the conversation fresh. So I can make assumptions on how I feel like you guys might have vibed with this based upon my own vibe, but I'm often wrong. Cody, I feel like I'm pretty confident in saying that you had a good time with this.
I very much did. Yep.
You got the platinum trophy, in fact.
Yeah.
You just got it.
To be fair, it's not that difficult. You get most of the trophies just by playing the game.
And you don't only platinum good video games. It's also worth mentioning.
I platinum the ones I don't like.
You don't like.
For sure. But yeah, just at a high level, going into this, I was a little worried because playing their Hitman games overwhelmed me. I felt like when I did try Hitman 3, I remember the tutorial mission, I felt like I had to do it perfectly, and there were so many options, and I would just keep restarting, and I just got overwhelmed, and I never played it because of that. So I was a little hesitant that there was going to be some of that. Man, I could eat up those large map multi-way to do it sections all day. They were so good. Story was so good. I think we'll go into it more, but I think Greenway is one of the best characters of the year so far written. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really great.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I had a fantastic time. I played this game in a much more condensed way than I typically do. I'm a dad. I get 3 nights a week to play games. Well, I get 3 nights a week to do anything I want to do, and that's usually play games. But because we wanted to record this so early, because both of you guys had beaten the game, or at least Kyle had beaten the game in a matter of days when it came out.
Yeah.
I was on like a truncated schedule, so I didn't rush it. I wasn't like trying to get through it as fast as possible, but I did obsess over it, and any free time I had, I played it, which is not normally how I engage with it. So I think that messed with my opinion of the game in a little bit, which we'll talk about, especially like the last sort of section of the game. But overall, it was like exactly what I would have looked for from that mixture of Uncharted and Hitman, which is what I think we all assumed this was going to be like, and I feel like they nailed that part of it.
I agree. Yeah.
How do you feel? How do you feel about it?
It's 7 out of 10
with you, man.
7 out of 10.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked it.
You liked it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
7,
fine.
I remember you
7,
saying
7.5.
I remember you saying you had thoughts and then you had different thoughts. So were you hotter on it at the beginning and then fell off? Or
the intro, like the training montage stuff, is paced really, really, really well. I thought
that was so fun.
Yeah,
so cool.
I think when it started to open up a little bit and give you more options, I found, similarly to how I feel in Hitman, I don't think the stealth mechanics in Hitman are very robust or always realistic, because they're always trying to force you into some sort of panic, right? Like to keep the situations interesting in Hitman. And so I feel like IOI doesn't really do actual stealth all that well. And so that's what I kept bumping up against in this one, was trying to stealth and then getting into combat and hating how the combat felt, like, and then being forced to do melee combat, which felt awful. It was awful.
Wow.
Awful.
I'm with you there. That is my largest criticism of the game, is the hand-to-hand melee combat. I think there is not nearly enough variety in the animations, for one, and it's basically a QTE because you can't go in and button mash. There are no combos really. Essentially you have to wait to parry or dodge and then hit people.
So what's crazy? At the top, I love the hand-to-hand combat. I actually didn't love like the guns as much as I liked the hand-to-hand combat.
It's crazy because I loved the gunplay. I
just felt like everything died with a shot. I could just shoot.
It was
and
easy.
it's just like
Yes.
Yeah.
So what were you saying? When I did the tax sim stuff for Trophy, the very first, whatever, I don't even remember what it's called, but the very first thing that you can do in there is almost like an advanced tutorial.
Yeah.
And there are like gut punches and different things like you can do to break up their blocking and stuff that it doesn't tell you in the game.
Yes.
That was only in Taxim, but like there are,
that sucks.
I don't want to say combos, but there's like square, hold square, or square. Does
really?
like there are different attacks, melee attacks.
I did play that in the tax sim, and obviously I played that after I'd finished the game, and I was pretty annoyed to see that. I do wonder, in the actual game, part of my criticism of the melee combat is that everything happens very fast.
Yeah,
and
I couldn't get the timings down.
Yeah, it's hard to set up a combo because you can really only hit a guy 2 or 3 times, and it's like they have like iframes when they get ready to hit, and you normally would have to parry, because I early on was trying to just punch the shit out of everybody, and they would punch me through a punch.
Right.
So yeah, you can't interrupt them. So I just had to learn to, like, as soon as combat happens, I just stand there and wait for someone to try to attack me and then parry. But yeah, seeing that in the Taxim stuff was really frustrating, because I want to go try that in the regular game, but I wonder if it would work the same way, because it feels faster in the actual game than it does in Taxim.
I don't know.
And for context, I think it's worth saying tax sim is like a training mode that you log into from the main menu. It's not really part of the game as you're going through it. You can access it before you beat the game, but I didn't happen to play any of it before I'd beaten the game.
The operations, which are in tax sim, you cannot until you beat the game. You can do like the advanced training stuff.
Okay. Those I have not tried those yet, the operations. And those are the bigger, it's like a new map.
So like, yeah,
right?
it's not a new map.
Hitman
So like,
level.
yes. So like the one I did was the laundry room of the chess match of the hotel. When you're down in the laundry area, it's that map. There are way more dudes on there and you die way faster. So like, it's like, you got to push the carts and you got to use your gadgets and like do all the stealth stuff. Which, that's the stuff that I loved, about the game. So I had a lot of fun doing that, but yeah.
I guess I should specify, like, the things that I like about Hitman are the like gadgets and like setting up traps and environmental stuff. I think all that's like really creative and fun. I think that the stealth makes it hard. I think the action in Hitman's really terrible. It feels awful. This is definitely major steps above Hitman in that regard. It still doesn't quite hit what I was looking for, but definitely better than Hitman. I found the game is just faster in general because it's trying to propel you through these situations, keep it, bombastic and fun. I never had time, I felt like, to like worry about what gadget I was going to be using in combat. I never, like, the gadgets were strictly for pre and post combat world navigation and attempts at stealth that inevitably failed every time. That was purely where all the gadget stuff was, because I didn't have time in the middle of a firefight. Like, I'm getting shot from multiple directions and you die super fast even on easy. I had a really rough time with the combat. I was not having a fun time, and that's most of what you do in the video game. But I loved the story. I thought it was an incredibly told Bond story. It stretches a bit thin in the middle with the Bavma stuff.
Here, wait. Before we get into the story stuff, I want to like wrap up on the combat front, because I don't totally agree that you don't do enough stealth. I think, and I don't mean this as like a pejorative, but some of it is like a skill issue, because there were specific times where I was able to get through an entire section just in stealth, and I never alerted anybody and never had to go into combat. And there were other times where I fucked it up pretty early on, and then I was just shooting dudes. I liked the shooting, but it did make it very easy to where I didn't need to worry about my gadgets, because everyone dies so fast and it's so easy to get guns. But I was able to get through several combat oriented scenarios without having to shotgun a bunch of guys in the face.
I do think that twice.
Okay. Like the progression of the game, like every level kind of goes through a similar arc where you're in a large space with an objective to like get into something or unlock some sort of information. And that's the most Hitman-y section, where there are 4 or 5, sometimes more ways to get to what you need to do, whether it's putting on a outfit or interviewing somebody or following somebody into this. And that's really fun to use gadgets there. And then there's a middle section where it's more stealthy, where you can get into combat, but it's usually hand to hand, and it's like smaller rooms of dudes. And then it usually leads to a larger combat scenario that you can start in stealth, but almost always ends up being you're gonna have to shoot guys, because there's 30 guys in this one room. Well, and most of the levels kind of follow that arc.
Yeah, and in the middle section, it's important to mention, like, if you fail the stealth, you have to do hand to hand because you don't have a license to kill.
Yes,
and that but sometimes the enemies will like pull a gun on you, and then you have the license.
And
then
you get the license.
And then it's like, why am I suffering through like 2 straight minutes of harrowing, like trying to just run in circles around this like box?
Because Bond is a civilized man. You don't shoot first.
Okay,
he ain't Han Solo.
But I can tell you right now, he is killing people when he hits them with his fists. Those people are fucking dead.
So, yes, he's like, smashing their faces into he's electrocuting people into like a
people are dead as shit.
2 things. When that license to kill does come up, feels pretty cool every time. It's like the bass effect.
It's just it's a feeling of relief. It's like I can
So
finally
negative.
not have to punch these idiots.
And
Like,
the other
this
thing
gun I've been
that
carrying around, I could use it finally.
I took away was I loved how reactive the environment was, man. I felt like anything I hit an enemy into reacted in some way.
Yeah,
Whether it was a window
yeah.
that crashed, or I punched him into a fire extinguisher and that blew up, or
There's a ton of that.
like it was so reactive, and that made it feel very cool. But no, I felt I wanted to use all the gadgets, and I appreciated that when you pull up the Q lens, it slows things down. So I'd be
Yeah.
punching a dude, turn around, laser him in the eye, run up, do the like finisher on him. You know, I was using all that stuff.
I never I never felt like I had control over when it was going to slow down. I must have missed a tooltip somewhere, because like sometimes I would pull up my Q lens to like just try to see where enemies were in relation to me in the middle of a fight. And it would like slow down. I'm like, I didn't hit a button to slow it down, but other times I'd try to pull up in combat and it would.
The Q lens always slows it down. When you're aiming your gun, clicking L3, you play it on PlayStation, right? Clicking L3 goes into your like focus mode.
Oh.
Which
but
is
it always
slowed
slowed down when you would use a Q lens. So you could slow it down, laser a guy, poison dart another dude, and then keep punching.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't do a ton of that in combat. Like once shit hit the fan, I was just shooting and punching because I just didn't need to. But that middle section where it's part stealth, part combat, I would certainly like in the middle of a fight because it's only 3 guys. Just for fun, I would shoot. Eventually, when you get the like pen missile thing, like I was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was murking guys for sure.
I do wish you could have access to all of the gadgets all the time.
I wanted to ask you guys about that.
Because I always picked the dart and the laser because they're more stealth oriented, and I would prefer to do the stealth as long as it was lasting. And that's part of why I would never use the Q lens thing in combat, is because like I didn't pick the combat oriented ones like the shockwave thing or the pen missile, whatever.
Right.
Like I would never pick those because I would prefer to do stealth. But if I had them, I would use them and probably would have enjoyed combat more. It's like, why not just let me have all of them?
But
all the time?
also, I use the smoke bomb and the electric trap quite often, even in stealth.
Interesting.
To get past dudes. Especially like when I would get caught in sort of like that middle section you were talking about, throwing one of those mines behind you. I mean, they're just gone. They're not going to follow you anymore. So I was also going to ask how many different gadgets you guys utilize. I always had the laser, and then I would cycle out the other one.
I pretty much exclusively used the laser because it was so useful to like unlock doors and things like that. And then I exclusively used the dart because it's so good in that stealthy section, or when you're trying to, it's so good to hit somebody to like sneak behind them and pick up a key. And then I used the missile once I unlocked it because that was a really fun combat one. Mm-hmm. A big group of 4 guys running in, you just hit the missile and they explode. Once I had those, like I never used the mine, I never used the camera, and I wish that it felt like an arbitrary decision for them to not allow you to bring them all at once because, like you, Kyle, if I had them all, I would have found more ways to leverage them.
It felt like
I was kind of bummed by that.
It felt like a Hitman game design carryover because, like, part of the Hitman games is you're picking your loadout,
picking up your thing.
It felt like
the laser should have just been included in the watch. Like that should just be on the watch.
Even missions were like, I think it's one of the ones with Green where he's like, where we're going, the laser's probably pretty helpful. Like, they even recommend specific ones depending on what you're doing. And if I don't know if there would have been a better way to swap out my loadout in the middle of a mission, I might have played around more
or something.
Yeah, like in the middle, like getting ready to go into a big combat scenario, I would swap it out for the camera to use that in combat. But you never really get to do that. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of incentive to experiment.
I want to say one last point about the combat. I really got a lot out of the combat as a whole. I still like the shooting. I just didn't like it as much as the melee combat. But man, it gave me sort of that same feeling as Ghosts of Yotei of I'd run up and charge a dude, hit him, gun flies into the air, I grab his gun, I turn around, shoot this guy, I dart this guy. Like that stuff, the fluidity there feels very, very good. Very good.
That stuff for me like really hit in that last third of the game when they're throwing way more guys at you. Mm-hmm. I guess it's fair to say we're not doing like super explicit spoilers. I think we might talk a little bit about story stuff, but it's worth saying. You think so? Okay, this is your official spoiler warning, so just be aware. But late in like some of the last missions that are like at MI6 and stuff, when they have a ton of guys that have more armor, I was definitely picking up more guns on the fly because they take more hits, you have less ammo. But usually in those combat scenarios, if I would find it's like the DMR, like the big rifle, you just one shot headshot everything, or a shotgun with 6 bullets in it. That's 6 kills. Like it's pretty easy.
I have seen people complain that the guns like have no ammo, but again, that's something I liked. I liked
that's the
like
point.
You're just
I like that too.
Yeah.
It kept me moving, because otherwise I would default to not. I would just take cover until I'd be in one spot until I killed every enemy in the area, waiting for them to come to me, because that's how I play every game, and then I would have moved on. So it kept me moving, and I didn't mind.
It definitely wants you to keep moving. Yeah, it's unlike something like, I guess Uncharted 4 was pretty good about that too, but the earlier Uncharted games, the more cover-based third-person shooters, you do just kind of sit there, pop up, kill a guy, pop up, kill a guy. That's not at all how this works, because they rush you a lot better too, and they flank you and stuff.
As a transition to talking about the story, also known as a segue, what was your favorite
favorite baddie? Lorca, easily. What?
Teresa? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What was your favorite sort of like large level, like the chess, the shipyard, Vietnam?
Oh man, I never really thought about that.
The resort was my favorite.
The resort was also my favorite.
I mean, there was no real combat there for the most part until the end, but like I really liked walking around, exploring, having the time to do that. It felt like it felt like your first foray into a Hitman map, where you're just kind of wandering around. You're trying to figure out like, what are the boundaries here, what are the options, and then the story does a good job of leading you through that area, so you get to see everything. I really like that one.
One thing I wish, and maybe it's a setting, and if so, that rules, and I should have had it on. They were setting that whole thing up to be like, this is your first actual spy mission, like you're not gonna have the tech, and you got to go in and do like actual spy stuff and everything. That's how they'd set it up going in, because of what happens leading into that mission. I wish it did not have objective markers. I wish it was like, hey, she's in blah, blah, blah bay, and I have to use the signs that are in the map to find where she is.
Because in the first level, it doesn't give you objective markers for the most part.
Yeah. When you're in the
at the auction or whatever.
When you got to go, or even in the very beginning of the game, when you got to go to like B6 or G8
in Iceland,
where those captives, and in Iceland where the captives are, it doesn't tell you where those are. You have to look for the signs. Like, it would be nice if either in the entire game, because I do think there's enough detail to the environment to do it, or at least on that mission where they're like, hey, you're going to actually have to do some spy work here, to not have had those objective markers.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't have a problem with the UI popping it up in the top left, right?
Telling you what to do.
Oh, Teresa Lorca is at this place.
Yeah.
But to have the actual nav thing, because look, a lot of people like it. I don't want to have to pull up a menu or pull up a map or pull up a journal while I'm playing a video game. I don't want to interrupt my flow. But just tell me what the thing is I'm trying to do, and I'll find it. I think that would have been a better balance.
Yeah.
I think the chess match, that the first like real mission, I think was probably my favorite.
I think it was so too.
I think kind of the longest, at least it felt like the most stages. But I liked all of them.
Yeah,
honestly.
me too.
The concert, or sort of like the rich people event, I thought was really, really cool. And the kind of where that goes to, I thought was really interesting.
Incredible amount of NPCs on the screen, like incredible, like crazy.
Yeah, that's their thing. They wanted to show that off for sure.
Yeah. And they did.
Blame them. Yeah.
But what do you think about it sounds like we all like the story.
Yeah.
I think like as a Bond story, it's good. I do think, I have a couple of thoughts. I think it was interesting going into this game with Lenny Kravitz being part of the marketing and them treating him like this big villain, and he's barely in the game, which was odd.
Thank God.
And
his inclusion just felt weird.
Bad.
Even Tess is like, wow, he looks like less animated than the other character. Like, something about him just...
a weird American accent for this like child soldier from Africa. It was very bizarre. It was a laughably bad performance. And I wonder if he was going to be I wonder if he was going to be a bigger role. And once Lenny Kravitz was cast, they minimized it, or they were forced into casting Lenny Kravitz because of some friend producer thing, and so they had to find a spot for him, and so that character was made a bigger thing. Either one of those has to be the option, because it was a nothing burger of a character that and that's part of Bond, right? Like, they have these random side villains that come in and out of the story, but it felt weird to have him be such a big part of the marketing when he's such a small part of the game.
Right.
What did you guys think about the actual, like, twisty stuff where the real villain is revealed?
He was telegraphed really early on.
Yeah. I felt like it wasn't really set up enough because there were so few characters that were introduced. It was kind of like, oh, well, here's your bad guy.
Well, I feel like the game didn't think it was going to be much of a surprise either. You know what I mean?
That feels weird for it being a Bond story.
Yeah.
Like, it's usually, I mean, I guess there are Bond stories where he's just the bad guy the whole time, but there's usually more twists and turns in the story than I felt in this one. I did not feel a whole lot of reveals happen. I think maybe Isola, is that how you say her name? Isola? Yeah, the French thief character. I wonder if they thought that her sort of frenemy relationship was going to have more twists and turns than I felt that it did, but I also thought a lot of her stuff was pretty telegraphed.
She's obviously Spectre, right? That's what they're setting up?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, who she's working for.
Yes, right. Which is cool.
I was kind of waiting for a way for them to, like, recruit her into the Double O's there at the end before she ran away. I was hoping that's maybe the direction they were taking it, but I think I like her character a lot, so I think it'll be cool to see her in the next one in some capacity. The moment at the very end, since we don't care about spoilers, where Bond is sinking in the water with Damien, and she goes and, like, takes the briefcase and puts it up. Like, I audibly was like, oh, damn, that's ice cold, when she saved the briefcase and not James Bond and was just going to let him die. That I was actually surprised by. But yeah, so Cody, you said you really liked Greenway. Tell me why.
I thought I liked his arc. I thought it was really well written. I thought it's pretty tragic. Like, he lost his wife because of it. He lost some of his friends, and then for all of it, I guess that was sort of the twist, right? For all of it to have been
fake,
faked, and all that grief and trauma he went through and had to deal with, he inadvertently caused, and then eventually, perishes at the end. Which I just thought, his arc that he goes on from being this, at the beginning, Tess and I both, we hated it. He was like, what, man, this guy is such a dick to us. But then, like, you work with him more and more, and it just unravels more and more. And I really liked, the journey that his character went on.
I think I agree with you. I thought he was a little bit too much of a curmudgeon for too long, maybe. But the last couple of missions that he's on, especially the mission where you're, like, hacking into Webb's spot, where, like, all of that is revealed, I thought his character was finally going in a really interesting spot, and I liked the resolution of that despite him dying. But I thought that was pretty compelling.
Yeah,
I didn't think there was. I should say, I thought it was weird that there was, and maybe it's not weird, but I thought it was weird that there was no real resolution to. What was Teresa's last name?
Lorca.
Her character. The last time you see her is in the burning
building,
and he's just like, go. And then there's no, like, romantic, like, all right, I'll see you. Like, that was just the end of her. She felt like tangentially important to the overall story, and then she's just gone and never seen again. I thought it was weird that Cressida is never mentioned again, despite being alive and in a wheelchair. And I mean, it's assumed because Q shows up that Moneypenny's alive, but there's no resolution to that either. Like, she's stabbed.
I hadn't even thought about that.
And then you don't see her again at all.
That's interesting. I hadn't even
So-
thought about that at the end.
There's a couple of loose threads that I feel like are just totally forgotten
Well,
about.
Well, no, I
And
think they
one-
say that Moneypenny's okay.
They do not. They do
Sure?
not. There's no mention of her in the rest of the game. Yeah, because Tess and I looked at each other like, so we're waiting for that. But no, there's no mention of Moneypenny.
There was also no further mention. Cressida wasn't the only survivor, too. There was one
Correct.
other guy that they mentioned,
Correct.
like, he's off grid now. We don't know where he is.
Yeah.
And then that's never brought back up. And maybe it's just a cameo that they're waiting to set up for the next game or something. But I thought that was weird. I also thought it was weird that, like, the mission happens where there's the betrayal and the suicide run at the time they thought it was, and like all those other recruits died, but they didn't even really address them. It just like cuts to the funeral, and other than, was it Mason? What was the other guy? The blonde dude
Yeah.
that was with Cressida,
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
We know he's dead, but there's other bodies there that they don't even say, and it's not until your next mission briefing that Moneypenny like puts them all up on the board. And I was like,
Yeah,
wait,
yeah, they don't even really address them. You just have the little picture.
I did find it. I agree with you, Kyle. Like, I really liked the pacing of the beginning hours, the montage. I thought that was very, very cool, and I loved how they integrated tutorials into the montage stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was very weird to introduce all of these characters, and only like most of them only have like one line, but they're always there. And then they just die, and that's the end of it. And you never hear from any of those characters again. That felt very disjointed to me.
Yeah.
I like that, like, Damien brought Cressida back up at the very end, where he's like, after I kill you, like, I'm going to pay your wheelchair friend a visit. But I would have loved some, especially because isn't she, like, she's related to somebody, right?
She's the
One of the other
secretary,
Secretary of Defense, Chief of Staff.
Yeah, like,
something.
Bright's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
was it Bright? Like, Bright was one of
Yeah.
the bad guys. Like, that's weird to me.
Well, Bright wasn't a bad.
Bright wasn't
guy, but
bad.
He was one of the people who was critical of the bomb.
He was working with Webb.
But I don't think he knew the.
Right.
I don't think he
I don't
knew
think anybody
Webb's
knew.
plans.
Yeah.
Maybe not in totality, but he knew that Webb was up to no good. I mean, he pulled a gun on Bond and was going to kill him when Bond was, like, discovering what was going on. He only lived because Isola knocked him out. And that was the whole thing that, like, M
that
couldn't
was
deal with
Finch.
him.
He pulled
That
the
was
gun on-
Finch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finch. That was
Different guy.
Finch.
Different guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Finch was the elevator guy, right?
Yes, Finch was the elevator guy
Yes.
that you
Yeah.
poisoned. Yeah. That's who held up.
Oh,
Abigail.
yeah. Okay. I remember Bright. You could talk to him at one of the parties. He's one of the people that was
And
there that you
he's
could talk
there
to.
when you move into your new suite. He's like leaving
Yeah.
as you walk in. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. What
White
else about
people,
the story?
man, they all look the same.
White people, totally. He's old. They're all
Yeah.
old British dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else about the story? Is there anything else we didn't chat about?
I like M and Moneypenny. They're both good.
Uh-huh.
I don't like
Their
M.
performances are good. Oh,
I think she's so flat.
Too woke
No,
Yeah.
she's really flat.
woman.
She doesn't have any of like the gravitas or the menace that. I mean, you're not gonna get better than Judi Dench.
Dame Judi Dench.
Like
of
you're not
course.
gonna get better than that. But you could have.
and she's
had
also new to
somebody-
her job. To be fair,
Yeah, but not to acting. But like she was
So
just,
harsh.
she was written really flat. I'm not gonna say it's her fault. Her character was written really flat. I
I
feel
liked
like
her. I
she
liked that
was-
she was an asshole. And
Yeah.
like she believed in Bond despite everything, but she was still an asshole to him. Like that was just because that's just her personality. I liked that aspect of her. Even at the very end, when he's like rescuing everyone, she's still in his ear, like, don't fuck this up.
yeah. I liked the beginning thing of like when she's recruiting him and he asks her, why would you want me or something to that effect, and she goes, you did a 1 in a million thing. Like those were real odds you went against, and we need that human element. This game is so anti-AI and it fucking rules.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the only other thing that I do want to mention, because it was a frustrating experience playing this game, I had one hard crash that the game froze and then totally crashed to my PlayStation desktop.
Happened to me
I had a
twice.
moment where Bond
Really?
froze. Like I was in the middle of a scenario and I turned the camera and then my character could no longer move. And I had to reload a checkpoint and lost like 10 minutes of progress. And then at the very end of the game, when you're crawling down is it Hyperion, whatever it was called, the other machine, I like went around it and then the entire screen went black. My UI was there, but the entire screen was black. I could still move, but I couldn't do anything. And like the game doesn't let you jump off a ledge to kill yourself because that's what I wanted to do to see if it would reload. So I had to hard reload the game in a previous state. So it's
It
like
crashed for me twice.
yeah, that
I
I'm not
have
psyched
any
about the
issues.
performance of that.
Kyle,
Stuff
did you play
happens, but-
offline?
Yeah, I didn't connect an
I
account or
assume.
anything.
Holy,
That's probably
well,
the
no, you
source
didn't have
of-
to. You didn't have to create an account. But
Well, and I thought like to like go. There was a button at the beginning and the opening thing that was like go online or
Yeah,
whatever. I never.
that's
I
like
didn't do that.
extra suit rewards or something. But
Yeah,
like
I'm
you don't
sure
have to
about
be
that.
online to, or you don't have to create an account to be online.
Okay.
Because I
Right.
played online. That's how you get like the challenges and you get points for those and whatever. Did you play online, Shay?
Yes, and I know what you're gonna say.
Holy shit! One of the most Kyle, you would have not. You wouldn't have finished the game if you were doing this. I would be in the middle of a firefight or a stealth section or whatever. The game freezes and a window pops up and it's like disconnected. Do you want to reconnect or play offline? And then I'd hit reconnect and then it'd take 15 seconds to reconnect. And then I'm right back in it. And then maybe 2 hours later, disconnected.
Yes. That happened to me
down.
like 2 or 3 times
Yeah.
every single time I played the game.
Yep.
It would disconnect and I would
just
reconnect.
store that fucking the 5 kilobytes of data you need. Store that shit locally in sync during load screens, idiots.
Yep.
What the fuck are we doing?
That was very, very frustrating.
Yes, it
God.
was.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
Man,
I like because I play with no like I have no system notifications that pop up. I don't get no trophy notifications, nothing. Like I'm just over here playing games, man. I don't know about you guys.
Playing games and getting mad.
Mm-hmm.
I
the
did,
other.
See, I get mad at
go
the
ahead.
video games, not all this other stuff.
I know.
Go ahead, Shay.
I lost it.
Okay.
Another, I don't want to say negative, but you know, if I had to critique things here, I feel like the 3 car missions were pretty whatever, boring, nothing. Like the times when you're either chasing someone or at the end.
When you're driving the giant dump truck, that was fucking
that one
awesome.
that one
Yeah,
rules.
that's cool.
That
I
one
like
rules. That one rules. There's one where you're chasing. I don't know if it was 009 or who it was, but in a car that's nothing. And then while it was
The early
cool, like
one?
yeah, the early one. And then at the very end, when you get to drive like the cool souped up
The-
car, but you just go
yeah.
in circles
In a
and hold
circle.
X, like that's fucking lame. Like I wanted.
I also
like
liked driving the garbage truck through London. It was a short
Yes.
section,
Yeah.
but that
Yes.
was fun too.
Those ones that are like chaotic are very good, but like the sportsy car ones,
Yeah. My biggest criticism aside from the hand-to-hand combat is the pacing of the game. I think largely it's good because each mission has its own crescendo and goes up and down, and I liked that. The end of the game is too long.
Yeah,
And
I
it
felt
wasn't just
that.
because I was trying to finish it last night, but like you have the mission in Vietnam and there's the big culmination and then you fight Damien and you kill him, or so you think. And then there's a whole extended mission where you're going back to MI6 and there's a whole another extended mission where you're going to take down Webb, which was a very long mission. Although I did really like the electric gun thing and fighting the robots. The robots were like effectively intimidating, and the giant ball that you run them over
Reki?
with I thought was really funny. Reki, another best character nominee for the year. But then like the game ends, you beat Webb, it's over, and then you have to do a whole nother mission back at MI6 and then a whole protracted fight scene, multiple stage boss fight against Damien. It's too much, too long of the end of that game. Like the end of the like point of no return in an open world game, it was like another 3 hours. And in a game that's only 12 to 15 hours long, that's a long time.
Yeah.
But that would be, again, if I had spaced this out over a month, I might not have felt that way. But that would be my largest structural criticism, is the end of that game.
I think this lands in a strong contention with Resident Evil Requiem as my game of the year overall.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The top of my game of the year list is very messy because I don't have a standout. This is up there. Pocopia is up there. Pragmata for me is up there. So I don't have like none of those are a 10 out of 10 to me. So that's why it's kind of weird, but it's a contender. This one is. And Kyle, it's a 007 out of 10.
7.5, yeah.
007.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
You could have leaned into the bit and you chose not to, which is fine. It's one of the things I love about you. You don't play along.
Oh, thanks, man.
Anything else? We talked about this for a while. It's a good video game. It's a good time.
I liked it.
I hope
action-packed.
I hope the large investment into this one allows them to have the release cadence like they had with Hitman. Those were only like 2 to 3 year development turnarounds on Hitman.
Right.
So
I don't know. There's a lot of...
Yeah. I have a hard time believing that, but we can hope.
Yeah.
At least I hope it's cheaper next time for them so that maybe it...
right.
Maybe all the upfront investment. Yes. Maybe all the upfront investment will help them make it a little cheaper next time.
I'm sure they will release more Taxum stuff. They've already announced they're doing, it's like a car mission with the spy car. So at least like we'll get more of that. It looks like more excuses to use it. But yeah, I wouldn't expect a long tail of live service support a la Hitman. But if they release some more Taxum stuff over the next couple of months, I'll come back and check it out. Why not?
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yep.
But that is 007 First Light. I don't really love the name of the game. I don't think it really represents the story that well. I know Greenway makes a little comment
at one point. I'm trying to remember.
Greenway makes a little comment about it, like
no,
you're the first
it's
light.
It's Q talking about Greenway after he passed, and that Bond was the first light in his darkness and all that stuff. Yeah,
just didn't. I didn't feel that. Yeah, it didn't really gel to me, but. Yeah. Small complaint.
It's interesting because I'm used to the Bond titles having to do with like the villain typically. Like not the more recent ones have been about like the setting. And so this one's interesting because it's a phrase that's about Bond. It's not about the villain or the setting, it's about the protagonist.
Whatever, like No Time to Die, whatever. Like there have been Bonds that kind of have.
It kind of goes back.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service, I guess, would be the one that's kind of about Bond. But the rest
I did like a lot of the trophies were like the names of other Bond movies and stuff. There was like an Agent Under Fire was one of the trophy names. So a lot of that stuff I thought was clever.
You stand where he stood.
I do wonder, because obviously they have the core group of Moneypenny, Q, M, Bond. Felix Leiter is even mentioned in one of the collectibles you get. I wonder
Basil.
I wonder, obviously it was an original villain for this one. Will they ever go the route of, canonical villains? Are they always going to do original ones? How much more from the universe do they pull versus what do they do that's original? I will be curious to see.
Yeah, I think it's far more interesting to try to keep it fresh. I do think it's pretty obvious that they're setting up Spectre with Isola's stuff. Could be wrong, could be something else, but I feel like the way they tease it makes it seem like it's got to be something that's a reference to previous Bonds.
Right.
But I would love for them to stick to the new. I don't want to see them do Dr. No and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Those things exist. But we shall see. I'm sure they're making another one. Yeah, it sold like 1.5 million copies in a day, so
as long as Amazon
they're going to do all right. Yeah. But that is 007 First Light. Go check it out. It's fun, and video games should be fun. Usually.
Yeah.
But that's it. Drop a comment if you've been playing it. Would love to hear your thoughts. And tune in for the next episode of Game Select. Make sure you subscribe for whatever video we decide to upload next. Peace out.